Hello there, many thanks for joining us on our Midweek Business News Report. It's now time to bring you the feature on the show today. But first, we're going to look at stock trading, which remained in mid-range on Tuesday as many investors kept cautious trade patterns. We now have Effiong Ekop bring us the details, and after that, we have a conversation with Vincent Oshoma.
Mild price recoveries moved in some sectors of the stock markets in late transactions as decisions by the Central Bank of Nigeria showed unchanged MPR rates of 11.5%. Weak trades had enveloped the stock market since Monday when fund managers held up monies that weakened stock peaks. Closing data showed index at 0.02%, underlining market recovery. Quartzville, ETI, Academy Press, Champion Berries and Regal Insurance were big gainers. On the opposite window were losers in the likes of CNI Leasing, Prestige Assurance, Cornerstone Insurance, Mutual Benefits and UPDC. The volume of shares traded was 247 million units. Effiong Ekop, TVC News, Lagos.
And joining me now virtually for more on the highlights of transactions for the month of January as we mark the last trading week for the month of January, I have Vincent Oshoma, a stockbroker. Thank you very much for joining me on the breakfast show this morning, Vincent.
Good morning, David. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Let's start with our conversation now, looking at the impact of the decision of the Monetary Policy Committee holding rates at 11.5%. That's looking at the MPR and other key parameters. What effect do you think this had on the market sentiment we saw yesterday and also what we'll likely see play out today?
Yeah, the decision of this MPC to hold rates is not too surprising. Because if you look at our inflation, we have seen the inflation coming down for last year for some months. Only that in December, because of activities at the end of the year, these festive activities, we saw inflation increasing. So I think CBN will want to maintain their current position to look at how things pan out in this month going forward. And like the CBN governor mentioned, the inflation increase in December, so as a result of these festivities, they don't expect it to continue that increase this month. I think so. The decision to maintain the rate is not too surprising. I think it's expected. A lot of analysts expected that decision, so I don't think it will have much impact on the market.
Okay, now, and then also looking at the volume and value of transactions we've seen on the floor of the Nigerian exchange, looking at how much we see a pattern from the movement we saw in November to December, and then now we're wrapping up the month of January. Let us look at some of the indices playing out here and the sentiments overall.
Yeah, the month of January has been quite interesting. It has been a bullish run this month, and the market, if you look at last year, the market ended the year in the positive, though not too impressive, but the fact that it ended the year positive was good. And this year started on a bullish run, and you can attribute it to activities in the price movement in a lot of high cap stocks. We have seen a lot of the high caps, highly capitalized stock gaining price, and so the market year to day result is about 7.55, which is good because this is higher than what the market closed with last year. And we saw what happened in a stock like Dangote Cement, the share buyback, which took the price to about 284.9 naira, and we also saw movement in other high cap stock like Boa Cement and Elter. I think this can be attributed to the bullish run, the increase we have seen in the market. And another thing is that a lot of this, we have to approach the earnings season, we expect investors to be taking position. So people rode the bullish run, and but we have seen some profit taking gradually because some persons that have gained some prices, they will have to take their profits.
Also looking at the year-end report we've also had for the year 2021, how do you also see things panning out now? We understand that the banking sector still remains one of the most favorable stocks that we have so far. But in terms of insurance as well, we're also seeing some slight changes here and there. Are there any new twists we should look out for? And for investors still sitting on the fence, especially for local participants, what would be the havens to look out for?
I think there's still a lot of value in the market. Looking at the 9 months reports of the most of the companies, especially the banking tier one banks that you mentioned, they had a good result with their 9 months result, and we expect them to close the year when they start releasing their audited results. We expect to see a good result, and I think investors can take advantage of that by taking position in the market. But like we normally see, some investors are concerned about what will happen this year as we approach the election. But like we mentioned, I've mentioned in some previous analysis, is the fact that this year is like a situation of two halves. We're going to be having the first half of the year when we see some good economic activities in terms of looking at the market. But it's expected that as we approach the political season, the activities in the political arena may definitely affect the market. So it depends on what happens. If the tension is heightened, we expect to see it affect the market. But if there's less tension, we expect the market to react positively to that.
Well, there's a school of thought, really, that thinks that the Nigerian market is not favorably positioned as it ought to be, looking at the fact that we've also seen foreign portfolio investment drop significantly. So in terms of ETFs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, do you think we still hold a desirable position and are able to whet the appetite of foreign investors at this point in time and invest big in the country, irrespective of what's playing out in terms of the pre-election activities and also insecurity?
For a long time, a lot of the foreign investors have been on the sideline. It's not because of the value they see in the market. It has to do with what is happening in the FX market and the instability in the FX market, the challenges there. So a lot of them have been sitting in the fence looking at the FX situation. So until the FX situation is fixed, I think they will continue in the sideline. And unfortunately, while effort is being made to fix the FX situation, we're approaching the election season, which also brings its own political instability. That also brings concerns to them. So I think those are the factors. But in terms of the market itself and activities in the company, we have seen some decent results. A lot of them have been able to maintain their result and also increase their performance, which gives them a lot of value. But it's what is happening in the FX market and also the approaching election that is keeping the foreign investors in the sideline. And in their absence, we have seen the local investors play a lot of role in the market, and which is which is good for the market, at least to some level of stability. I mean, a lot of local participation in the market, which we hope to see, as especially in this first half of the year, as a lot of persons look at opportunities in the market and cherry pick the opportunities in the market.
Vincent, let's just play pundit in 10 seconds. Do you think the market is going to close positive today and then wrap up the week positive as well, or we'll see some bearish sentiments come into play?
Because of what has happened recently, we have seen a lot of profit takers coming to the market. But yesterday, the market that was relatively flat as it gained the pattern, gained 2 basis points. But I still see that affecting the market this week because of activities of profit and takers. But it all depends on how they are able to manage things.
Definitely, it's quite a back and forth we'll have there, and it will be interesting to keep our eyes fixed on what will play out. Thank you very much for your time on the Breakfast Show this morning, Vincent Oshima. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks for having me.